And the big one, Venezuela, let's get into why it's important, why do we care? Obviously, there was U.S. operations to take Maduro as well as hit military targets in Venezuela. Great, so that's what happened, easy enough. Now, whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever else, your algorithm's probably telling you one reason alone why we did this, oil. Now, that is wrong. It is a reason, not the reason. And let's get into why that actually is. Per usual, kept seeing a ton of people get this wrong. I went ahead and laid out the reasons what we see are the primary reasons why we did this, as well as the ancillary knock-on effects, positive, negative, and neutral. So definitely take a picture here. The North Star and the primary reason why we did this was not because of oil. It was to have a secure Western Hemisphere going into the next 1 to 3 years where China may invade Taiwan via also the Panama Canal. Let's break down what that actually means. China, last month in December, put out a third policy paper on essentially like why they need to be a main player in Latin America. Obviously, this has implications for their main ally in the region, Venezuela. China has been diplomatically involved with Venezuela for decades now. Interestingly, hours before this operation, they also met with Maduro here. The reason why that matters, when we think about great power competition, especially in the lens of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, we will need the Panama Canal to move U.S. naval assets to counter China in the Indo-Pacific. In the worst-case scenario that U.S. military strategists and planners are doing the math on is Chinese intermediate and long-range missiles in the country. See here the range on some of this. This is long range, this is intermediate range. Now, interestingly, both of these obviously cover the Panama Canal, and this is, of course, in the worst-case scenario. Even if it was just personnel that they could use Venezuela to operate out of, to harass or damage or otherwise subvert U.S. use and control of the Panama Canal, and in the event of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan in which we could not move naval assets to defend Taiwan, we would be almost entirely fucked. That of all U.S. active naval assets, it took 25% just to pull off the operation that we just did over the weekend to get Maduro. Imagine then if they had material support via Russia and or likely China. I mean, that would be 25% of the U.S. Navy that would not be going to defend Taiwan. So this is the real reason, primary reason why we did this. It's kind of funny for me when I see people talking about oil and gas and energy as the primary reason why we did this, because it's kind of a tell that they don't know what they're talking about. The reason why this was not the primary objective here is because we don't need it. It's a reason, not the reason, because yes, it's a positive to have, obviously. But the U.S. is the largest producer of both oil and natural gas in the world. There's also technical differences here of the type of production and reserves that both the U.S. and Venezuela have. Don't have time to get into them here, but you can see above why that's important. You'll see the knock-on effects of reduced terrorism via Venezuela and Iran, as well as reduced drug activity via cartels. But the main reason why we did this was a secure Western Hemisphere in the event of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. Like and subscribe for more.